when I was 19, I worked at this restaurant. It was pretty much full of like career servers. They weren't, as far as the core staff, there were maybe 14 or 15 positions for servers available in this restaurant on a weekly schedule. And I mean, at least 10 or 12 of us were full-time career servers. Didn't have classes, didn't have a second job. This is what we were here to do. And we made good money. I mean, frankly, we made really good money considering that, anybody can get that job. And the other 4 positions or so on the server schedule was pretty much a revolving door of students, which is why we never kept staff. Those 4 positions, constantly we'd run people out. I mean, pretty much like a regularly used phrase in that restaurant, myself included, was you chose to be a student. It's your fucking problem. You shouldn't get to leave early because you chose to be in school and then you chose to get a job here. It's not our problem. You shouldn't get to leave early just because you're a student. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not pointing the finger. I said this to people. I know I wasn't the only one saying it, but I definitely said it. I'll own that. And the truth is, at the time, I felt that was fair. I didn't see that I was wrong. Now I'm in the opposite position. Finally went back to school to make it something that's worth a damn. And, you hear the other end of the spectrum. You hear your boss say to you, like, you chose to be in school. That's your responsibility. I'm not, I don't have to help you out. And it's true. It really is true. You just got to be accountable to yourself. It's a matter of what's important. And it's also why it's important to keep your bills low. Honestly, people make more money and then they spend more money. Because the whole reason you want to make money to begin with is so you can get more shit, right? You can save harder, whether it's retirement or vacations or, you like your toys and your gadgets. Lord knows I fucking do. So you spend more. But that's the problem is you get your car payment, you upgrade to a better condo or apartment or whatever. You got all these bills. And property ownership is important, but you don't need to bury yourself. And a lot of people don't realize that. They start making more and they start spending more, and then they're locked in. Then their boss is right. It's your decision. You got to do what you got to do, and you fucked yourself because you cuffed yourself to it. About the manliest thing you can do is to go to community college and keep your bills low. You just have the ability to just walk away. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be great, I'm not talking about successful. I'm not talking, oh, you got a nice job. It pays the bills. I take a few vacations a year with my lovely wife and my 2 kids who I only get to spend 2 days a week with because I'm tied to this job. But they got all the leotards and ballet shoes that they could ever need because I've got a well-paying job. And that's great. That's awesome. Good for you. That's an important thing. If that's what's important to you, that's great that that's what you're doing. But the truth is, man, if you can learn to just be accountable to yourself and you just put yourself first in that situation, when the other people say, well, that's your decision, you should have thought of that. You just look back at them and you say, you know what? You're right. I should have fucking thought of that. My bad for not thinking about it. I'll remember that the next time I'm looking for a job. And then you fucking walk away. If school is the more important thing to you, if you don't give a fuck about your schooling, then you're probably not in the right major. You're not studying the right thing. If it's not something that you're passionate about, if it's not something that you're not willing to give up, how's that? If you dedicate yourself to something and then you find out months later that you weren't willing to sacrifice everything for what you dedicated yourself to, you shouldn't have even fucking bothered. You shouldn't have even tried. I hate to say that. That sounds really defeatist. Like you shouldn't do anything you wouldn't lay your life on the line for. That sounds pretty fucking intense. I'm going to be honest. But am I wrong for thinking that there is a lot of truth in that though? Like, what's the point? What are you really in school for when you're tearing your hair out? I can't afford to lose this job. I'm tearing myself apart to be a teacher. I don't even like kids. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't. So just stop. And I know that sounds crazy, but you cut back, you consolidate your lifestyle, you find out what's important to you, and then you walk away from the things holding you back and you run towards your own future, whatever that means. I mean, it sounds crazy to some people, I guess. I mean, they're not wrong, but I don't know. You have to be accountable for yourself, and you got to be true to yourself, because Lord fucking knows when you turn around and your coworkers are telling you it's not their fucking problem and you need to figure it out, and then you turn back around to your professors and your professor says that your employment situation is not their problem. If you look to the left and the right of you, there's fucking bankers there, contract in hand, snarling at you, saying, oh, we can help. And you know what? You got to make whatever decision's right for yourself. But you shouldn't handcuff yourself to anything, especially if you can help it.